Hi guys, today I'm gonna be doing a speech and a poem. So yeah, the brother's there. Yo!
Was like, so fitting, very fitting, vocalizing resistance. So I wasn't planning on doing this, but well, let's do it. This is called Children of the Nam. We are the children of the Nam, the barefaced 10-year-old dreamers who saw North Peckham of paradise to the head of Joss, Freetown and Young Sukru, who came and realized that the stories of gold-paved streets were just stories, but didn't even mind because we were here now with our lives and with each other, so what else could matter more? We are the children of the Nam. We learned to love the BBC and tea and the Queen and Oasis and Fatboy Slim on a Friday night during Top of the Pops, rehearsing the lyrics on the following Monday's trek to school, whilst letting our native songs escape on the estuarine wind. We are the children of the Nam, who shunned the leprosy of our foreign accents, speaking in our mother tongues only in subdued decibels until some of us had forgotten it altogether. Iami, Motik Bagby, or we are the children of the Nam. We were scolded by teachers because the anecdotes we told of the times when we would kill goats, chickens and rams in a thick heat of the unyielding sun to celebrate the union between a man and a woman, or the arrival of a travelling friend, or the peace given to those departed, traumatized the other kids, the very kids who brought to our attention that pounded jam and egusi soup was not suitable packed lunch. We are the children of the Nam, whose flesh was picked to the bone by the icy winds of December, when winter took the mercy of the sun away, and we cried to our mothers that at least back home we were dying in warmth. We are the children of the Nam, the dirty stain on the nation's lapel that couldn't be washed off by the laundrymen we called MPs, and the detergent of lies, the dust onto the nation's rug, the fickle words to thicken someone else's manifesto, the figurines of never to be manifested dreams, but manifested never achieves. We are the children of the Nam, who are in need of doctors, not only for us, but for our buildings that coughed up more of their bricks every night. Our buildings that needed surgeons to unblock the clogged arteries of its garbage chutes. We were in need of doctors and surgeons, and they gave us spin doctors. We are the children of the Nam, the children of Peckham, Vietnam, Peckham, the Nam, the no-go zone, because they don't want us there, so we don't want them here. The jungle, the Serengeti, except with a few minor details. You see, there were no predators there, only prey. There were no lions, only wildebeest and flamingos and zebras. But the lions, in their cunning absence, let us believe that we were the predators. They let us hunt and hack each other down, and when the deed was done, they showed up to collect the still warm corpses. We are the children of the Nam, no longer children, no longer 10 years old. We are the children of the Nam, blind to our consanguinity, because consanguinity is a word that irritates the tongue of the dejected. A word, by the way, that would have kept the femoral artery of Damilola Taylor intact, instead of rupturing and releasing that myrrh that was his lifeline, forcing a 10-year-old boy to pick a cold, concrete stairwell as a final resting place, a stairwell that we all knew and we all cursed. We are the children of the Nam, the free school meals, the SEN, the council estate rejects. We are just a handful of children with liquidated tomorrows, standing amongst many, many others on the assembly line of Tony Blair's legacy. We are the children of the Nam, no longer children, no longer 10 years old, no longer blind, no longer helpless. Right, I'm super stoked to be here because so we have Rafif and Auntie and Naxaguru. The first time I saw Rafif was actually at Spoke. Yeah, so that was a bring-in, thanks. Let me read something. So when I was 13 afterwards, when I was 13, I was arrested for the first time. It was the most ironic situation. They were looking for, the description was of a man, and I was 13. And I had like loads of my mom's equipment on me. It was just the most ridiculous situation, but it's only now that I realize that sometimes people of color aren't afforded the status of a child. That's sort of taken away from you. You're no longer a child once your skin is past a certain shade. You're just, I don't know. Right, so let's do this. This is my first lesson in irony. This book is not mine, by the way. I didn't write this. This is the rap yearbook. If you're into rap music and academia, basically, if you're a bit of a nerd like me, this is for you. Right, yeah, let's do this. Irony is the first time you are arrested on a sharp November night, age 13. You are on your way back from your mother's charity workshop. She makes you film it regularly. This one was about sexual health and staying safe. Arduous work, but it will help your case this weekend when you're asked to go to that party at Cater Street. It is the last time you will see here as home.
You spray your sky with pestilence, choke the sun with pearly clouds, your world collapsing under pistons and cogs. Your art is rust, your mainstream polluted. You live with the lethargy of skeletons, tracing over the faint filaments that flicker and die. You're full of cock and rage and cunt and spit, drowning alive in whirls of neon, of electricity. You're gone, there's nothing left. Your children dream to rob each other of their innocence. You teach them your greed, your capitalism and your supremacy. Your seeds are bullets, precise and intractable. Your muscles are tanks, your strength is destruction. Your clothes are flags and your hands are complete chaos. Yes, I know you, where you come from and where you go, why you do it and why you did it. So when my son comes into this world and he asks me on one very ordinary day, "Daddy, why?" I'll bring him in close, holding his little hand in mine, his chest still beating and his eyes reflecting the flames. And in that moment, I'll confess. Because there's still hope. There's still love. There's still you. With this theme. Cool. I'm going to read you a poem. I've got a book here called A Difficult Place to Be Human. I'm going to find a poem from here, if I can find what page it's even on. I'll scrap that, I can't find it. I'll find it afterwards. This poem is called This Is Not a Poem. It goes like this. This is not a poem, and I am not a poet. But I'm unable to find a better way of saying it in 2012. A beautiful way to say that no nation in the world imprisons as many members of its population as America does. That more black men in the US are incarcerated today than what they were during the peak of South Africa's apartheid. No, I am not a poet, but I can't find clever words to illustrate the fact that before 2008, Nelson Mandela had been on America's list of most dangerous terrorists for over 60 years. That Cameron is a liar. That Cameron was a key member of the Federation of Conservative Students in '89 that hoped to hang Mandela. Forgive me, because today I am not a poet and this is not a poem. When eloquent words fail me and I can't capture the struggle of the poor through the metaphysics of language, that by the time Margaret Thatcher left office in 1990, the annual incomes of the richest 0.01% of British society had climbed to 70 times the national mean. And I don't know how I feel about the fact that key policy makers and leading civil servants never had a job outside of their politics. The same men who set the minimum wage, only 4% ever having worked in manual trades, of which 68% went to fucking private schools. That is why this is not a poem and I am not a poet. Because everything I've ever written suffers the weight of its own futility when another mother comes to a workshop with a fresh black eye. When there's another empty seat in the place that James sat in last week. When I ask the group where he is, their young eyes open wet, as if his coffin in that moment was being lowered into them. But you see, I can understand all this more when they cut funding to schemes that aim at inspiring people previously inspired by a crime and the insufferable dross of mainstream culture, private prison systems and prisons for profit. When young women are given more options than just be someone's girl.